meteorologist Chase Jones.
Tell you, with this dry weather, I am hacking up a storm in between breaks. I'm trying not to cough right into my microphone, but it's been going strong for a couple weeks. Ever since July 4th, when some of that heavier rain made its way in, the allergens definitely capitalizing on this warmer weather. Now, temperatures over the last 24 hours from those 90s down into those 70s, right up into those lower 90s, and you see how quickly we're cooling off underneath these cool skies, or at least these clear skies. With those winds still out of the south, they're just going to stay that way for the remainder of the summer, but we're running out of time because we only have about 8 or so weekends left until it's time to roll in for fall. Everybody is ready for some cooler weather. 77 in San Angelo. Everybody else in a combination of lower 80s and those upper 70s across the entire area. We're cooling off pretty quickly out there. 85 in Robert Lee. It was 97 earlier. 78 down there in Junction. Still looking like a good 7 degrees across the entire Concho Valley. Unless you want to count, I don't know, Sterling City all the way out there. No, that's still only 3 degrees. So my math is off, although I'm still dealing with some of these cooler temperatures across the entire area. Finally getting a break with some of the quieter weather making its way in. Dew points there in those 50s and those 60s, while humidity indices are also in those 50s and those 60s. So I don't think we're going to see any rain for a while. Now, Moisture Tracker is going to show you where the storm is pushing in around Louisiana. Steve and I were taking a look earlier. It's around 8 inches of rain. That's still quite a bit, but not near 14 inches. They're going to continue to see tropical-like conditions throughout the rest of the weekend up here in the Concho Valley. Make sure you get out there and capitalize it because there is a whole lot going on. Now, high pressure is going to be sticking around for a while while we look off towards the west coast, keeping our eye for any indication of cold weather making its way in. But with those days getting shorter, we're slowly going to start working our way towards transition season. I think it was a pretty quiet hurricane season, but we're not out of the woods yet. Water vapor imagery showing you a lot of the convection going strong, at least on the southeastern side of the United States. You're getting a better idea of how high pressure circulates and sort of moves storms around it, but really just keeping our eye on this activity between Louisiana and parts of West Texas. Severe weather outlook pretty quiet right now as we make our way into the evening. By tomorrow, we'll see if any of that activity decides it wants to pick up, but down at the surface, getting a better idea of some of those alerts that are associated with a lot of this severe weather. Some red flag alerts near Idaho and parts of Washington and Oregon while they deal with some forest fires. Some severe weather still in Montana, but when we take a good look down here at the Gulf Coast, really just keeping our eye on the convection that is finally calming down as we get closer towards the weekend. Now, you see how it's been holding off a lot of that thunderstorm activity off towards the west, but I promise you, Ruidoso is seeing tons of flash flooding. Now, sea surface temperatures are cooling off somewhere in those 80s. We'll see if they don't fire right back up into those 90s, but you can see how much heat it's pulled out of the sea surface. As we take a good look at the futurecast, we're going to get a better idea of how beautiful this weekend is. I promise you, if you decide to do nothing, that's the best use of your time because you definitely want to be on the recharge as we get closer towards the end of July. August right around the corner, and Griff's always telling me about football's winding up and hockey's getting ready to start. I promise you, basketball just ended and baseball is still going. Now, Futurecast just showed you how we're going to deal with beautiful weather, so tonight I'm going to keep my eye on these lower 70s. Then tomorrow, a good run at those lower 90s, but we want to make sure we're practicing a lot of that hot weather safety because Clear the Shelter is going on until about the middle of August. Now, I know it just started, and we raised about 9,000 pounds for the KSAN food drive, so I know you guys can adopt about 9,000 pets. Now, we've decided here at the station we're going to divide about 40 of them, but as we get closer towards the end of July, still holding on to those beautiful lower 90s while those overnight lows just lock themselves in those lower 70s. Stay tuned. We'll more up the break. You're watching KSAN News at 10.